Vishnupada Param Supravirajikacharya Ashtotar Sisimat Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Samasta Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki Nitaya Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna. I forgot to send the question bank for 11th canto till 9 chapters.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Pranam bro.
Prabhuji, if I may ask you one question, is it okay?
Yes, bro.
In the last class yesterday that we did, verse number 15, there is a mention of Varnanam Asramanam cha Janma Bhumi Anusarina. And so he is referring this Varna and Ashrama with respect to Janma Bhumi, that is at the time of birth. And as we understand from Bhagavad Gita, the Chaturvarnyam Maya system, Guna Karma Vibhagasha. So how is that the birth has some significance, or it is applicable at the time of birth? Is that's how we should understand? If some light can be thrown on that, Prabhu, for my understanding.
Yes, Prabhu. Varnanam cha janma bhumyanusarini asan prakrutayo nrunam nicha nichottamottama. So that means by birth, everyone is having the different nature. So based upon that nature, so they are getting the different varnas and ashramas. Prakrutaya. That means janma bhumyanusarinihi as prakrutaya. What are the, that means according to the birth, their nature is according to the prakrutaya means nature.
So there is an influence or an element of the place of birth.
He didn't say that varnas are said based upon birth, no. So he said that varnas are said based upon the nature which are coming from the birth.
So that means if I have to understand, Varna and Ashrama is already pre-established, but according to the place of birth, they may adapt that particular Varna and Ashrama. Is it how I should understand?
No, by birth, everyone is having certain nature. Based upon that, Varna and Ashrama are decided.
Oh, I see.
By birth, nature is coming, not the directly Varna we are saying. And that nature is cause for the Varna and Ashram.
Okay. Since we take birth with certain nature, and those natures are attributed to certain Varna and Ashram.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Now it's clear. Thank you.
And also, birth is having its importance. Its importance. So, birth, astrology, and also the nature, that means by the inherent nature, and the parent's circumstance. So many things are factor. That means many factors are needed to consider to decide a varna. So, but Prabhupada's standard technique is only one. What is that? You first send everyone to some basic training and see whether they are qualified to that varna or not. So if they are qualified and passed, take them as brahmanas. Then send through them to another. What is that? That you know, Jalida filter. You put all those in another. Huh?
CU. SCIVE.
Yes, I.
SCIVE. CU.
CU. So then keep on that. Then do this. Then whoever is filtered, then those are Kshatriyas. Take another like that. Just in the modern way, this is the way that means everyone is studying basic training, they are getting till 10th class. Then whoever is passing this exam, they are going for this. Whoever is passing this exam, they are going for this. So this is a technique Prabhupada also said. So you let them, everyone come to join our temple initially. That means first is Sankirtan movement. So next is the temple entry movement. Third one is, so in the temple entry, when they entered in the temple, so will we give them a basic training about the Krishna consciousness and Varnashrama training. So whoever is able to cope up according to their nature in that particular training, so then they are Brahmanas. Then otherwise they are not qualified for that. Take them as, give a training of Kshatriya, and if they pass, then consider them as Kshatriya. Otherwise, take them to give training for the Vaishyas. So that, and if they are not qualified for that, also a fourth category, give them for fourth category, like this.
That means the Shudra receives the maximum training, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and then comes to Shudra.
Yeah. So it's natural. Okay, we'll start from 16th sloka onwards. So we are seeing the various, yeah. So now 16th onwards, we'll be seeing the for Brahmanas. So what are the qualities, Kshatriyas, what qualities are needed? Because if you want to test those people, you need to know the what are the qualities should be there for a Brahmana, and also Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. These Varnas are natural, and are there in even in the Kali Yuga. You cannot say that Varnas are not there in the Kali Yuga. Till the time modes are there, 3 modes. If 3 modes are there, means 4 Varnas also are there. Because whenever there is no modes, then you can say there are no Varnashrama system. Varnashrama system is not there in the transcendental plane, but in the material plane, Varnashram is always existing. Only thing is, so maybe, so you may need to so customize the training for the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, which is not possible, which is not similar in the previous ages, like previous yugas. In the previous yugas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya training is might be different, but that is very elaborated, and that should be customized to this age, this time, and based upon that, so you should divide the society, and that's why society, human civilization means Varna and Ashrama. Otherwise, it's not at all a human society. So that is must actually. Society must be divided. Only thing is, what are the, how to customize that, the Brahmana training, Kshatriya training, Vaishya training. So that is the curriculum one should develop. We need to develop the curriculum for Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and that is the task given for me. So next my task is that. Now Ananya Bhakti is over. So the definitions of the Ananya Bhakti. Now next I am going for this Karma Mishra Bhakti. Before that means Ananya Bhakti, there is a Karma Mishra Bhakti, how to divide the society. My Guru Maharaj recently, so he is pushing me to take up this very much. So take up this and start the Varnashrama college. Very systematic. It's not that Varnashrama is taking the land and few people jumping there, and few days they are doing some agriculture, and after that Tata bye bye, is Varnashrama over. This is not the really actually Varnashrama training. Varnashrama training means you should cultivate those qualities actually. You should know. So what are the qualities required for the Brahmana? What are those? Shamodamasta Pashaucham Santosha Kshantirarjavam Madbhaktischa Daya Satyam Brahma Prakrutayastvimah.
Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, cleanliness, satisfaction, tolerance, simple straightforwardness, devotion to me, mercy, and truthfulness are the natural qualities of the Brahmanas.
Yeah. So these are the various qualities: peacefulness, self-control, austerity, cleanliness, satisfaction, tolerance, simple straightforwardness, and devotion to me. So these are that means all 4 Varnas and Ashrama people, they has to worship the Lord. Shravanam Kirtanam, if you see 11th chapter of the 7th canto, so Narada Muni is saying, so the Sakshat Bhakti is necessary for everyone. That means 30 qualities of human beings, it is also counted. So that's why worshipping the Lord is mandatory. If they are not worshipping the Lord, that Brahmana is not, and the Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra are not considered on that Varna. So Patanti Adaha. What is that sloka? So if they don't follow the devotion, they are not considered as Varnas. Those Shambalam Prabhu. No, not Patanti Adaha. That means that is from the 7th canto. What is that sloka? If they don't do the bhakti, so they are not considered. In that regard, it is there one sloka. I am not remembering, but it is there. So that's why devotion is not there, means he is not that Varna. is not considered into that varna. So that's a obvious devotion is obvious. So tolerance, for example, tolerance, many times we'll be seeing tolerance, lot of classes will take. So tolerance is what? It is a quality out of goodness. It's a quality out of goodness. It is. So cultivating tolerance is a pure devotion or not? Huh?
It is not a pure devote. It is not the.
What it is then?
It is out of goodness.
Yeah. So we have seen in the Gnana Marga, there are the various activities are done to increase the goodness. That means we should do activities in goodness. That means we should monitor. That means there are some factors are given. You all remember? Time also in goodness, and also Shastra in goodness, and Mantra in goodness. Like that we read or not? You all remembering? So by practicing those, one will be increasing his goodness. So similarly, tolerance is also practicing of the goodness. If one is trying to practice goodness separate from the devotion, so by the means of the different knowledge, so then what is this? This is considered as, and also is doing the bhakti, then it is known as Sakshat Bhakti also is doing, and is trying to cultivate the goodness separately.
Gnana Mishrama Bhakti.
It is Gnana Mishra Bhakti. Mataji fired up, yes. So it is Gnana Mishra Bhakti actually. So that's why sadhakas are divided into 3 categories. So whoever is practicing the pure devotion along with the pure devotion, along with the Gnana and Karma, those are considered as Kanishtas. Whoever is leaving the Gnana Karma, we studied or not?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Where you studied? Tirumala?
Bhakti Sandarbha.
भक्ति संदर्भ कहाँ से बोल रही माता जी? 11th कैंडल 11th चैप्टर माता जी, 11th कैंडल 11th चैप्टर 29 30 31 32 33 माता जी fully fired up with yes. So 30 31 32 33 these 4 slokas you remember or not?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Ramakrishna Prabhu getting recalling. So
yes, Prabhuji, you taught us very nicely there.
Yeah. So we have seen that means Macharanaha is the Visheshya, and these Krupaluhu, Titikshu, these are all different qualities, are nothing but the Gnana. So cultivation of Gnana. So that means one is doing the Bhakti and also doing the Gnana and Karma along with that, then it is known as Gnana Mishra Bhakti. Karma Gnana Mishra Bhakti, otherwise he is also, it is, Karma is also added. Then it is a Karma Gnana Mishra Bhakti. So that is not, that means that kind of sadhaka is not, so is a uttama. So what is the madhyama sadhaka will be doing? He will be rejecting the gnana karma and simply practicing ananya bhakti. So then he is madhyama, and who is ananya? Who is uttama? Gnatva agnatva. Whoever is worshipping Lord with the bhava, that is the raganuga bhakti. So raganuga bhakti means raganuga bhaktas, they worship the Lord with the bhava. So that means worshipping the Lord with the bhava is uttama.
Uttama Bhakti.
Uttama. Uttama bhakti, no. Uttama
Bhakta.
sadhaka, based upon the sadhana. Categorization of sadhus based upon the sadhana. So kanishta, madhyama and uttama. So here also you see, if anyone practice tolerance along with the bhakti, he should not, that means think that many times tolerance. So madhyama bhakta, why he will not practice this kind of things separately? Why? Shambhalam Prabhu?
It comes by practicing bhakti, it comes automatically.
By practicing bhakti, it comes automatically. By specially putting endeavor through the material means, then it will be actually obstacle for the, it is a vignata for the, so ananya bhakti. So that's why one has to develop this shraddha in bhakti, not on the side things.
It doesn't do any separate endeavor to acquire this kind of qualities.
Yeah.
Because the quality of the bhakti, that SS the bhakti bhagavad gita, so by guna sattva samadhi.
Yeah.
Automatically all the qualities of bhakti,
yes,
manifest in him.
Subhada. So but if you leave bhakti and if you try to control your mind through the knowledge, And if someone is encouraged to do this, that means you are not developing his Shraddha and the Bhakti. Then you are not pushing them towards the Ananya Bhakti. And you are trying to promote the Mishra Bhakti. Then there is a problem. That means these are this kind of samasyas are there in our preachings nowadays. It's going too much. So next, tejo balam drute shauryam titikshaidaryam udyamah stairyam brahmanyam aishwaryam kshatra prakrutayastvimah. Actually, whoever is not having full shraddha, they may practice definitely. There is no harm in that, but they should not understand that it is the pure devotion. They may. That means one can do the karma also, because he doesn't have faith in full faith in the bhakti. So he'll be doing, but he should not think that I am doing whole day for the Lord, this karma, so this is also pure devotion. Such a wrong understanding they should not have. So what is said here? Yes, Prabhu.
Dynamic power, bodily strength, determination, heroism, tolerance, generosity, great endeavor, steadiness, devotion to the Brahmanas, and leadership are the necessary qualities of the Kshatriyas.
Yeah. So these are the different qualities. Dynamic power, bodily strength, which is missing in a present society. Why people are not able to have the confidence? Because of there is no power in the body. Sab dila dichku. Because of no bodily strength and there is no mental confidence. Body ही नहीं है तो बाहर से दिमाग confidence रहेगा. So if he is having, just I was watching one small clip I got from the Chinese, actually Chinese kindergarten. So how the boys they are practicing, these boys, so little boys, and they are fully trained in the different kinds of the martial arts from the childhood, and those people will be having so much confidence in the, so that's a kshatriya, means he should have full of power actually in his body, bodily strength and dynamic power, mental power also. Then determination, if he wants, then he has to get that. It's not that the Dodin, so for time being, so 1 or 2 times he endeavor and he leave. No. Heroism, tolerance, generosity, great endeavor, steadiness, devotion to the Brahmanas. He has to follow, he should take the counseling from the Brahmanas. So these are the various qualities of the Kshatriyas. Yes.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhuji, just I want to have a little clarity. The sadhakas whom we are referring to in the 3 different levels, Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama, so they do also fall under the Varnashrama, in the sense they may be practicing the different kinds of bhakti, Karma Mishra, Jnana Mishra, or Ananya Bhakti. Do they to be categorized under the Varnashrama, or we have to say that the moment you come into the bhakti path, whether you are Kanishta, Madhyama, or Uttama, you do not fall under the Varnashrama system?
Bhakti means Ananya Bhakti.
Yes.
So milk means purely milk only, na?
Yes.
If you go to market and if you ask the, give me 1 kg tomato, means only tomato, not the brinjal in that. So
Yes.
that's why this bhakti means Ananya Bhakti. Bhakta means, so whoever is doing the Ananya Bhakti is only known as bhaktas, according to the Anyabhilasha Sunyam Gnana Karma Janavrutam Anukulyana Krishnanusilanam Bhaktiruttama. Whoever is satisfying this condition at the sadhana level, bhava level, and preva level, if in whose case that condition is satisfied, they are only devotees. But of course, Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Artho Artharthi Gnanu Jignasu. These are also, he says, Mama Bhakta. That means he calls them also as a bhaktas. So that means karma pradhani bhuta bhakti, whoever is doing. That means karma mishra bhakti, gnana mishra bhakti, karma gnana mishra bhakti, whoever is doing, they are also considered as bhaktas. But actually, standard refined definition, according to refined definition, so who is devotee? In whose case Anyabhilasha Sunyam is satisfied, they are only devotees. Okay. So that's why in our diagram, if you come, so this is the karmarpanam here, and these are 2 segments we made. One is the in contact of the devotees, is doing karmarpanam out of love. So this is, yeah. So here is the possibility of having the, so the karma mishra bhakti. I explained already. So he is in varnashrama only. Whoever is entering full shraddha, whoever is got, get full Shraddha, and after that, in this path, whoever is there, they are the Bhaktas.
So the lower circle which you have drawn here,
Yeah.
can we say that this lower circle in completeness is called Varnashrama?
This Karmi is also Varnashram.
Yeah. So the lower circle is basically the Varnashrama.
Yeah. And this is Varnashrama. When they got association of the devotees, then they started offering that karma to the Lord with the love. So then that, and also practicing the, so by hearing the some glories of the bhakti, they are practicing some sakshat bhakti also. So that means they are understanding by association of karmi, by association of devotee, he understood the bhakti, the glory of the bhakti. Then whatever he wants, he is doing for bhakti only. He's doing that for the everything for bhakti only. But still he didn't develop 100% shraddha, then it is he is practicing karma also. He is varnashrama only.
Yeah. So this was exactly my point, Prabhuji. Since at the stage now, for example, this level of description, what you said is all in the part of Adav, which is to say that whether they are having mixed karma, mixed jnana, and some understanding of bhakti, that is all part of the varnashram.
Yeah.
The door to Ananya Bhakti only starts with the complete Purna Shraddha.
Yes.
In which they completely reject Varnashrama with conviction, and then take up only Shuddha Bhakti.
Yes.
Then only they go into the at that time, since in the society they still live, should we consider that aspect as Daivi Varnashrama that they are following, or that is also not to be rejected?
No. Actually, Daivi Varnashrama means is nothing but, so we are refining this karma for these karma mishra bhaktas. So with the eyes of with the intention of the making devotees. So we are not going to prescribe for this karma bhaktas, whatever karma is prescribed. That is not a elaborated karma. That is, so as much as we see which is favorable to the bhakti, so that kind of karma you are giving. So that's why Daivi Varnashrama comes here only. So after this, so whenever who is getting the 100% Shraddha and they are fully doing the 24 hours devotion sadhana, so they are only considered as the Ananya Bhaktas. Ananya Bhakta only is the Bhakta actually. So now the point is they may do the Varnashrama activities, but they are doing that for the only for the sake of not, they are not doing that because not having the full Shraddha, that's why they are doing the karma, that's Varnashrama dharma. Is it like that? No, just to set example to the society, they may do here also in this line, but their Varnashrama dharma is not covering the bhakti.
So at the stage from where they get the pure devotional service, which we talk of the entry point, from there onwards, even if they are performing certain karmic activities, that is not going to cover their actual bhakti. That's for setting up an example. But they do sustain their body by performing certain karma, which is actually bhakti imbued, in the sense like they are, for example, even they have to eat, they have to maintain their body, they have to live through. So not that everybody has become, in terms of renunciant, he is as an aspect of a grahastha he is leading. Can that particular path in which they are doing certain activities for their sustenance, can still they be considered outside of varnashrama, or they are to be considered still inside the part of varnashrama, even though they have developed complete shraddha?
So how do you said that? If I understand what you are asking, that means some grihastha is there and he is so accepting bhakti is the highest, but the point is to maintain his body and family is doing some activity.
Yes.
So then, so what do you say? That means whether we should consider them as the Ananya Bhaktas or Karma Mishra Bhaktas? This you are asking?
Yes, sir.
So they are Karma Mishra Bhaktas because they are depends upon their activity actually. So they have, that means dependency on the activity to maintain body. So obviously they are, so that means consciousness is a matter here. That means I am working and by this I am getting my money, and this money is cause for my bodily maintenance. That's why I am able to do my sadhana. So this kind of, that means if you feeling, that means working means karma is supporting the sadhana, the bhakti, that is nothing but saksha sadhana bhakti. So then in this case, this is the karma mishra bhakti, this is. But if someone is working but he is not at all having the consciousness that this activity is not at all is the cause for my maintenance, so my Krishna is only the shelter, and Like that, like Nishkama Karma example I will tell. So Nishkama Karma Yogi is doing the karma. So, but he is completely detached from the result of the karma, and also he is not at all having the kartritva buddhi also. So just to sake of duty he is doing. The same way, if someone is working, so just for the sake of, that means setting the example in the society, but he is fully, that means his consciousness is 24 hours. While working also, his consciousness is completely fixed on the Krishna, is remembering the Krishna, and he is seeing this working is just like a what? So is like a side activity which is not at all dominating his consciousness. That means he's not affected by this, but that means his consciousness means continuously he is doing the sakshat bhakti. Then this working is not covering his consciousness, then only he is ananya bhakta. Depends upon the consciousness.
So now, Prabhuji, in the society, for setting up examples for those who want to take up to Ananya Bhakti, such type of a bhakti in which he may be physically engaged in some activity, but actually he is not dependent on the fruits of such an activity, nor is he attached to that activities. So such type of examples to be set for inspiring people to take up to Krishna consciousness, especially Ananya Bhakti.
Yeah.
So in the current situation, we find, apart from probably a few sannyasis, we don't find the larger society, which is actually grihastha dependent society, to be doing this activity. So on a global view, if you say that the society at large are not actually practicing Ananya Bhakti, they are practicing some kind of a Karma Mishra Bhakti or a Jnana Mishra Bhakti, and probably only at the stage of Madhyama. They cannot actually, are not setting examples in the stage of Uttama. So will this help the society who are at large grihasthas to actually take up to Ananya Bhakti, because they become more and more dependent either on karma or jnana or something else, so that they are doing some activities to the society, to the family, and so on. So when will those type of people will be able to take up Ananya Bhakti in totality? Even if we talk of, even in the scriptures also, like different kinds of examples of great personalities, kings or queens, of whom we are seeing in the scriptures also, we don't see that they are completely given up the path. They are doing some activities and also setting up examples. So how do we in the society give this message, saying that what is their ultimate goal of life? If Ananya Bhakti has to be practiced, they have to give up all kinds of profession. They have to give up all kinds of dependency on whatever is the skills, except for doing only the 9 process of devotional service. So how will that become an inspiration for the society to do it?
So that's why there is a need of the association actually. So such a association is needed for the grosthas. How in a mass scale they can take up, because that principles, the pure devotional principles of pure devotion has to be so promoted in a mass way actually. And that is the first, that's association. How this karma mishra bhakta is coming to the ananya bhakti, the main major factor is sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha is a very much criteria actually. And whatever the kings they did, so like the Bharat Maharaj and others, so they were doing that means Dhruva Maharaj completely realized, that means he got the darshan of the Lord, Sakshatkara he got, and but still he was given with the kingdom and he was practicing the various activities in the kingdom. All those activities are Prabhupada is writing in the purport. If you go and see in the 9th chapter of the 4th canto, clearly Prabhupada is writing Dhruva Maharaj is always in samadhi. That means he never forget Krishna for a moment actually. He's always remembering, but still he's doing. So such a people, so they are externally they are doing all those activities just to set the example so to the society, but they are ananya bhaktas because their consciousness is not, that means anukulya and Krishna anusilanam is not covered by the gnana karmadi, gnana and karmadi. So that's why Krishna anusilanam is not covered by the gnana karma they are. So now how in our society to bring them to that kind of stage? So you have to, that's why first of all one has to simplify his life. His activities has to be reduced. That means now if he is working, if we take this is a 24 hours of span in a day, so if he is working for the 12 hours, actually 0 to 12 hours, he is working for only for getting the food. So then what will happen? So of course his understanding bhakti is the high, but he is having still dependency on the work and he is giving the 12 hours of the time. Then what is going to happen? So then he can only practice at maximum of 4-5 hours for the sadhana, and remaining all the time is sleeping and other activities. That's the basic activities for the body he will be doing. So because of this, now you have to suggest, that's Prabhupada already in that plan only. He is, that means how to in the mass scale bring the grosthas into the Ananya Bhakti, how to bring, that means it's not a one-day process. You have to reduce you have to work on their lifestyle. Like doctors also, to maintain good health, what they prescribe, lifestyle is very important. Similarly, if anyone wants to become Ananya Bhakti, what is needed? Changing of the lifestyle is very important actually. It's not that yes. So changing of the lifestyle is important. They reduce the time required to maintain basic necessities of the life should be cut down, and it should come to the very less as much as possible. And remaining time he should engage directly into the various devotional activities, and such a society is needed actually. If such a society, such atmosphere is not created, and your boss is a demon who doesn't know the bhakti, and if he is asking, demanding, that means you have to, because of gratifying his senses, he want more money, and it is the target for him, then what he will be doing? He will be increasing your working hours day by day as the time progresses. That means first initially 10 hours, 12 hours, 13, 15, 16, he'll be going like that. So then in that framework, how you know the glories of the bhakti you want, but you are dependent, you don't have full shraddha, leaving everything and going to the, so dependent on the bhakti, and I don't care my manager, whatever I say. So whatever he says, like that, can you behave? No, it is not possible. So in that case, then how you will be, so how you can expect any progress actually? It's very difficult actually. The society should be in the control of the devotees. So in that society, if you live, then there is an easy possibility. Otherwise, Ananya Bhakti is very difficult for the grosthas. It's very difficult process.
So in my understanding, Prabhu, let us say that in the scriptures, when they say that in the time of Yudhishthira Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, the whole society was completely devotees, because the management and the sustenance of their lifestyle was subsidized by the kings.
Yes.
Thereby, they would need not have to engage into any kind of ugra karma or any other kind of a karma. So they could manage to live and dedicate the rest of the life and bring up their progeny also to make up to Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
But in today's life, in today's system or in today's society, this is practically not possible because we are working along with demons.
Yes, yes.
So they don't want devotional service at all, under even not even to the least also.
Yes.
So it's a real big challenge for the grihasthas.
Yes.
I'm sure it is equally bigger challenges even for the brahmacharis and vanaprasthas or sannyasis also, because grihasthas, if they don't support, the whole system collapses. So at this point of time, what is actually practical by which we study these essences and then we try to imbibe it in ourselves, and we have to give it to the society so that at least some sustenance of devotional service is maintained. So in this case, is the level of within the varnashrama, such as the karma mishra and madhyama bhakta, coming up to the stage of madhyama bhakta, is that can be given on a higher priority?
Yes.
Because if more and more volumes of such people are there, then there is a natural impetus to move out towards the Shuddha Bhakti, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why now society where it struck, they were thinking that whatever we do for Krishna, that is Ananya Bhakti, and but for that Ananya Bhakti, the entry door is a Shraddha actually. So that means Bhakti can take care of everything. They are having the faith on the Bhakti. But what is the point? If you want to enter into this Ananya Bhakti, what is the door is you should pass? Shraddha door you should pass. But Shraddha is what? Shraddha is nothing but the Shastrartha Vishwasa. That means it is demanding to behave based upon Shastra. It's not allowing you directly, I will go to the Ananya Bhakti. Is a gate is there here. Shraddha gate is there. That means that's why Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatri Vidim Vina Aikantiki Bhakti Utpata Eva Kalpate. So that means this Shraddha door is not Bhakti actually. Shraddha is purely believing the message of the Shastras, and those Shastras are condemning So condemning the wrong, that means the what kind of, that means karmi, that means ugra karma.
Realistic
So
life.
Prabhupada said many times in his lectures, leave this ugra karma, leave this ugra karma. From the day one, if you see his lectures, so he's saying, he's emphasizing, and have your own communities, have your own societies, and you focus on your goal. That is the Ananya Bhakti. That is, you have the society, the conducting of the society should be based upon the in favorable to the Ananya Bhakti. You will be so designing the life, the activities of the people who didn't develop the 100% Shraddha. So for them, you are designing the lifestyle based upon the simple living, that is as explained in the Varna and Ashrama, that is known as Daivarna Ashrama.
In the scriptures, Prabhuji, as we go through it, we find extraordinary characters such as the kings and great personalities mentioned here, among others, who have given up their lifestyles and have taken to Ananya Bhakti and pleased the Supreme Lord and have become successful. In mass scale examples wherein a whole country was completely becoming Ananya Bhaktas, or the whole citizens of a particular land has become Ananya Bhaktas because they gave up their respective professions and they took up to only Sravanam Kirtanam. Such type of examples are very, very small in number, very, very less in number. And thereby the mass of the people are attracted towards at the most Karma Mishra Bhakti or the Jnana Mishra Bhakti, and to come up to the stage of Ananya Bhakti, because on the neither it is being promoted in a large scale, even in societies like us, in like in ISKCON, to a very greater extent. Because even if you're talking of saying that we want to construct temples, we want to print books, we want to distribute it, and doing all of these need a good amount of Lakshmi, which has to come basically from the grahasthas, who are dependent again on the demons to get these funds. So it is because of, I mean to say, not dependent on demons. I mean to say that since they are engaged into that activity, yes, by depending on Krishna. Yes. So if those large number of people give up this profession and totally take up to Krishna consciousness, though it is going to be really sustaining, or the confidence is there, but yet the time the impetus to do that is not actually being promoted on a very big scale. And thereby in society we have, even in the leadership also, divided the kind of a mentality. No, we cannot give up all the things we require to sustain, otherwise movement will not progress, and thereby we require some people to support it. These kind of things are happening. Added to that, the influence of the external world today to completely downtrod the Vedic culture and the system. So to retain that position, otherwise even to the Ananya Bhaktas to have their life also is going to become a big dangerous situation at the present culture. So it becomes a very, very challenging situation for even the mediocre people who want to continue to do bhakti, becomes a big, big challenge. So they cannot give up the varnashrama practices in whatever status it may be into, but they try to do a secretly, some kind of a hiding way of doing some Ananya Bhakti and then offering it whatever they can do. So it is not developing into real Ananya Bhakti to set examples. So how should this actually be done? Can the society actually set such type of an examples? Is it really practical in the present world?
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhupada movements are like that only. Sankirtan movement, temple entry movement, so the initiation movement and classal society. So what he expected, once, that means doing the Sankirtan and bringing the people, that means getting the attention of the people, then bringing them to the temples. Then in the temples, he is asking to train them in the principles of the Ananya Bhakti and Varnashrama college. He wanted to start Varnashrama college. In the mass, he wanted to revert the whole society. Revert and overhaul the whole society. This is the Prabhupada's statement actually. So he want to revert the whole society, and at least that means Vikarmis, whoever are there, Vikarmis, make them so Karma Mishra Bhaktas. At least that means gradually they have to learn, that means various skills in the Varnashrama colleges. Every ISKCON temple should be a Varnashrama college. Should have Varnashrama college. No, every ISKCON temple should be a Varnashrama college. This is a statement by the Prabhupada. If you can see in the folio, you can search it. So it's not that the temple is separate and Varnashrama college is separate. No. So then he wants to start the revival program. So he was having the revival program of the whole society through these colleges actually. Through these colleges and train these people in the various occupations which are very so conducive to the bhakti and which are very simplified, which takes the less energy and which will consume the less time. So such activities you should train them to sustain their life and train them and send them to the classless society. That means having a society of the community of the devotees. So that he has this program, his program is complete. His program is complete. We failed in the applying that. We failed in the, we have to accept that we failed in the executing that actually. But structure is completely given by him.
So the basic structure in which people can actually be sustained, if we talk about Krishi, Goraksha and Vanijya, so everybody must be engaged in one of these activities. So is that how what we talk of sustenance? Because in today's condition, if you see around, practically this Krishi, Goraksha and Vanijya is almost nil. People depend on easy ways of sustenance. Even the big temples, so-called temples, they also are not sustained only on Krishi, Goraksha. They are also sustained only by the help of the other societies, which is basically demoniac supported.
Yes.
So the income which is coming from them, and thereby they are trying to promote whatever they can do. And so at this present moment of time, the promotion at large scale is only at the level of Karma Mishra Bhakta.
Yes, it's level of, even you cannot say it's a Vikarma Mishra Bhakti, you can say. It's not a Karma Mishra Bhakti also, because they're not doing the activities based upon the, so Shastra actually. Shastra, you want to believe the Bhakti is the highest based upon Shastra only. That Shastra is condemning the something, then you are doing that and you are telling that whatever Shastra is saying, I am following. So that means doing Vikarma, and you cannot justify your lifestyle also based upon the Shastra actually. So that's why Prabhupada said after 1965 starting the ISKCON movement in the US, then immediately West Virginia he started the farm project also. He didn't took much time to that. So the now present situation, the temples, now you don't want to take the full picture of this, and you feel that, oh, these are this implementing of this, if seriously everyone work, then it is easy. But if seriously if you don't work, then you think that it's very impossible. Then just depend on the karmi, that vikarmi world to get the money and maintain the temple. And maintaining temple, now what is happening consciousness, maintaining temple is the success. That's all. Their consciousness somehow or other, that means basic functionalities of, that means five whatever 7 types of worship the Lord, and so distributing the prasadam and distributing some books, this much happens, then that congregation is successful, that full-time devotees are successful. This much our, that means the complete vision of the Srila Prabhupada was brought down to only temple and sustaining the temple activities by the temple devotees and by the congregation. If this much is happened, then we are done. So this much. So but this movement is not just to maintain temples. This movement is meant for the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, to revive the whole society. This movement is meant for that. So if you don't accept the full instructions of the Srila Prabhupada, then you cannot justify your actions based upon the Shastra also. It's difficult actually. And you have to screw up the meanings of the Shastra. And you will not focus on the what is Anyabhilasha Sunyam Gnana Karma Dhyanavrtam. You will give your own attention. That means whatever you did for the Krishna, what your Guru said, and what that you are doing, so then it is pure devotion. What is this definition? Where it is there? So this is happening completely. So they are diluting the principles of devotion. That's why first of all understand what is the thing Shastra is saying and what Prabhupada planning. If you match it completely, both are matching, then where we are lacking, and we have to change. He said to to train the people in the simple lifestyle, because now in the Ukraine you see people are completely so homeless, completely in suffering, and no devotion, nothing, gone here and there. So then what? Then some people, some devotees in that country who are in the farm communities, and all the city devotees also went there, and in the small communities, 100 devotees, they gathered at one place in one small community. So how? That means outside world, karmi world, that means vikarmi, it's not karmi world, it's a vikarmi world actually. So vikarmi world, how much you can expect actually, how much cooperation you can expect for your Ananya Bhakti. So in the mass scale. So that's why it's very much needed to understand the So that means initially, if you don't have full faith, you are doing the karma mishra bhakti. The karma means based upon shastra. So for that you need varnashrama college, and let's have the varnashrama college and get trained there, and so develop, that means simple lifestyle, be in the mode of goodness in the small community, peaceful life without the affected by the rajas and tamas, so that you can engage your time qualitatively in hearing and chanting and progress. That part we are failed to implement this. We failed, utterly we failed as a society, failed. And that's why we have now so many problems.
So, Prabhuji, my question, one more, it remains. When we talk of establishing a Varnashrama college,
Yes.
and we want to train the society,
Yes.
so what is the kind of an engagement for the people who join such kind of a colleges would be? Would it be, one part of it is the studying of the scriptures. Another part of it would be, how do they physically engage their senses, their mind? What should be the activity that they will be doing?
Varnashrama college, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So Brahmanas, we have the, so learning the Vastu, learning the Jyotisha, learning the, that means Vedic rituals, samskaras, and various activities are there like this. So conducting the various rituals. So many things are there. Brahmanas, they are engaged like that. Kshatriyas, they has to be resourceful and getting the, that means be potential enough to grab the resources from the like IAS, IPS, and such a people he can deal. And he has the full knowledge of the present society, and he can, like Arjuna and Bhima, so whenever they want, they gathered such a wealth to construct their own kingdom. So such a, for doing the Rasu Yaga, they need a lot of money they brought. So Kshatriya should be resourceful enough to so deal with the other resourceful people in the society and get the, that means, so things from them. So making alliances and be powerful, not only just physically, mentally also, both ways. And such a training should be given to the Kshatriyas. So and next,
so
Vaishyas.
does it not mean that then they have to get engaged into the natural academic skills also, which is imparted from the external world?
Yes,
because
they need, Kshatriyas need the academic skills. They should need, they need.
Even the Brahmanas need the external academic skill, even if they have to learn the different aspects of astrology or other aspects of it. So in that case, the current world, especially in that the Varnashrama college, the difference would be use the external material skills which would be made available from anywhere in the world, but try to utilize it for the service of Krishna and the society. So is that the only connection?
Actually, Prabhupada said that it's a transition period. So one day there is no need of distributing books also. He said this. There is no need of distributing books. Why? Because the traditional system is, Prabhupada, if you search in the folio, he's writing. The traditional system is whoever want any book, they will be sitting and writing that book. This is the system is going to, it should happen actually. So this kind of, that means whatever the present technologies are there, so those are only for the time being actually. So the lifestyle, the progress to minimize the things, to minimize as a generation by generation, those has to be minimized actually. So it's not that the Brahmanas, it needs only the modern, but Brahmanas has to so learn from the books and from the skills. So it's not that the computer only needed to make the kundali. So they can make by their own brain also. That is there, and still some people are able to do that. So like this, we have to replace the dependency of this kind of external world as much as possible in your community. So that is the leaders. That's why they should know what is the definition of the pure devotion, how to engage my congregation and my community of the devotees, so less, and how to make them less dependent on the outside society, and how to make them self-sufficient, how to make that community self-sufficient, and such a caliber, such a kind of guidance they should give to the society.
Otherwise, generally people just simply try to understand, okay, to develop your devotional service, you need to get yourself disconnected from the external world, and you just need only a piece of land and cows to sustain your lifestyle. So they would not be in a position to give them the scope of utilizing their natural inherited abilities, because not everybody can actually take care of the cow or grow the agricultural field. So there will be people who will be frustrated if they do not have the options available for them to really dovetail their abilities. So definitely, like even in the kingdoms of Yudhishthira Maharaj or Parikshit Maharaj, not everybody was only a farmer or only an agriculturist.
Yes.
There were different types of skills which was made available for that particular time. So similarly, at this present moment, if we do not have such kind of a what you call scope and possibility to dovetail it to Krishna consciousness, because administrators are lacking, the leaders are actually lacking in this particular vision. So we are facing great amount of a turmoil at this moment of time in this generation too.
Yeah. So that's why the problem. Main is leadership crisis. So who can drive? That means, so if you create one Brahmana, you can create the 10 Kshatriyas easily. So that means we need proper Brahmanas. And you see, if you want to maintain a land, if you want to maintain a community, so just purchasing some piece of land and sending 4-5 people Brahmanas to do the agriculture there, then that is the success of the, or that is the plan of the developing the community. This kind of, that means wrong approaches. So land is acquired and maintained by the Kshatriya actually, not by the Vaishyas. So the basic principles of the society, if you don't understand based upon the Shastra, and if you try, then you will be getting the wrong results. So this kind of problems, many, so some kind of wrong attempts are done by the previously. So by the, I should not say wrong, but some lacking of the information. And because of this, what happened? There is a big mess up. And then after that, they gave up. And now they say that, okay, whatever you do. So then according to the present situation, so they start, this movement is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, and this is a Kali Yuga, and in this only holy name is sufficient, and no need to of following any varnashrama and that ashrama, this ashrama. Then what is this? Then you don't need the study this anything of the Bhagavatam, remove anything, everything, complete Bhagavatam, you remove it. You replace everything with this one instruction, is enough. Just chant. Then why you have to discuss why these are all? Then what is the meaning of the, that means if anyone doesn't have such a Shraddha on the holy name and he is just developing, then what you will do for them? And then you say that you do this, whatever you are doing, your Ugra Karma, whatever, and also you should chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So then what will happen? If you push like that, so that means you are telling that, or otherwise two things can be happen. So you always associate with Rajas and Tamas, always associate with the Rajas and Tamas, you are not helping him to come out from that and asking him to do the Ugra Karma, and so dependent on the holy name. So because of this, what will happen? You want to bring the 100% Shraddha on the holy name is Bhakti, that is pure Bhakti. So yes, that's true, but that's idea is true. But the main point is what? So what is their now present situation actually? What is their present situation? They are in the Rajas and Tamas, and now they has to develop this kind of Shraddha. You said holy name is enough. Holy name is enough. So by just hearing this instruction, how many asambhavana viparitavanas will go? How many will accept? So you will say only this, and that means your instruction, and you don't bring the Shastra into picture. And I am saying holy name is enough, and you should all follow. If you say this much, then how they will develop this Shraddha actually? How that means Viparita and Asambhavanas will go, until unless if they don't study the Bhagavatam systematically, they cannot. And then Bhagavatam is rejecting this various kinds of the Vikarmi life. Then you have to leave. You are believing on the Shastra in the Bhagavatam, and Bhagavatam conclusions are Bhakti, and also Bhagavatam is recommending so the Shastras are recommending not to follow the abominable life. So then how you will be justified? Just by your one word you will be pushing. That means holy name is enough. Holy name is enough. This is enough to, that means, cultivate this Shraddha in the people. This one sentence, holy name is enough. Then why Bhagavatam class? How it will bring? Huh? So there is a, yeah.
Ram Krishna
Thank you
Prabhu.
so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Sorry, I had taken quite a lot of time almost
Yeah,
today for more than
Krishna
45
Prabhu.
minutes, but it
Hare
was
Krishna.
eye-opening for us.
One,
Prabhu.
we'll finish syllabus. Don't worry.
yes, Prabhu. One of the sannyas made one statement. He said that when you enter in a Grihastha ashram, this is the ashram, that means you have to depend on your karma. Correct. But that doesn't mean that you'll continue your life like this. So while entering, you have to plan how to come out from the Grihastha ashrama. If you don't, then what will happen? Then you cannot come out. Similarly, those who are preacher, they have to preach the what in the scriptures. If they emphasize on the holy name, these, then what is the use of this all analysis of Goswami's this
Bhakti Rasamrita book.
what is
Why?
necessary?
What is use of the Bhakti Rasamrita then?
Why he analyzes the bhakti,
Why he has
very
analyzed the Bhakti?
elaborately in this
Nectar of devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita, Bhakti
In discussion
Rasamrita,
also.
Bhakti Sandarbha, Madhuri Kadambini, Harinam Chintamani, every acharya.
But problem is here, Prabhu, that lack of education in the society, especially for the leaders, because they are not following it, and they are not teaching also to others. If one cannot follow, this is one thing, but one should teach others that actually what I'm doing this is wrong. But actual process is that is the actual process. But that is happening now everywhere right now.
Okay, chalo, padenge.
Sorry, Prabhu Ramakrishna Prabhu. Please.
No, I tried to understand you, Prabhu. I mean, that's why I wanted to take up a small debate to understand things in proper perspective, how to work with it. Thank you so much for your enlightenment.
Prabhu, even I'm telling you, Prabhu, when I tried to actually tell this system to some of the congregation devotees, those who are practicing Krishna for more than 35 years, they couldn't accept it. That's impossible. They cannot accept this. Why? They said, no, what are we doing? It is pure bhakti only. And they are doing all the Ugra karmas. Mataji accepted, that's enough.
So actually, holy name is enough means what? That is also true statement with respect of this Ananya Bhakti. So that means we are not doing that means actually there's some Sri Vaishnavas, they will be doing the Karma Mishra Bhakti and they try to, without coming to the Ananya Bhakti Karma Arpanam they do, and they try to go to the Vaikunta. So, but this process we rejected, we accepted the purely devotion. In that also we have the several limbs. In that we give the more emphasis on Shravanam and Kirtanam. So that's why holy name is enough, because in this path also the major emphasis is given on so Shravanam and Kirtanam. In this way, we our movement is fully backed up. This Ananya Bhakti is backed up by this Shravanam and Kirtanam. That's the meaning. But we should understand what is the faith and what is the entry door for this Ananya Bhakti and how the people are we accept. Many are there. Handle those. How to? Yes, they'll block, and how to handle them, how to bring out from situation, and how to develop. Yes, you are expecting 100% Shraddha on the holy name. Then how to build that? What is the plan for that? What is your plan for that? So just holy name is enough, is sufficient, or is there any program for you? That do you have any program for that? That is important thing. If you don't have any program, just if you say holy name is enough, then how people will say you should become engineer. If you say all the time engineer, become engineer, but if you don't have program to train engineer and have such a program, then how? So how to handle this? It's not the one thing in their life. They have family, children, and various kinds of circumstances, ugra karma, the demand, many things are there. Then what about this? You are just in the temple in the Sunday fish class, you are bombarding the one point, and so they are fired up, and after that they're confused, or they are going to the home with the confusion. All the grosses, they are going with the confusion, they are completely directionless. So this is the problem. Okay. Sloka Astikyam Dana Nishtacha Adambo Brahma Sevanam Atushtirartho Pachayir Vaishya Prakruta Yastrimaha.
Faith in Vedic civilization, dedication to charity, freedom from oppression, service to the Brahmanas, and perpetually desiring to accumulate more money are the natural qualities of the Vaishyas.
Yes, bro. Faith in Vedic civilization, dedication to charity, especially Vaishyas, they are earning a lot of money. So they should dedicate themselves to give charity, freedom from hypocrisy, service to the Brahmanas, and perpetually desiring to accumulate more money are the natural qualities of Vaishyas. These are the various natural qualities of the Vaishyas. Yeah, actually, these things, if you want to learn these skills, how to cultivate, so yes, Bhakti can cultivate definitely. So Ananya Bhakti. So that's why we'll emphasize that point also. And also in the Mahabharata, there are so many stories why Vasudev wrote Mahabharata for the Kali Yuga only. He is envisioning, he is seeing the fall down of the people in the Kali Yuga, and he wrote the Mahabharata, so Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's not that the Mahabharata is completely is not a useful thing, but it is there to explain this karma mishra bhakti, especially karma, the various duties of the four varnas. So various stories and various connections are there. So those has to be, that means all, even devotee matter no matter, even they, everyone should be in a civilized lifestyle. That means everyone should be following these basic principles of the lifestyle. So that should be there, and the goal of that is to get the Ananya Bhakti. So that is the point. That means if you see division of the sadhus based upon the sadhana, so first they are doing the karma mishra bhakti only, that's the kanishta. But after that they are rejecting their faith on the practicing the various good qualities, cultivating various good qualities based upon the the other means. So that they rejected and they practiced the Ananya Bhakti in the beginning. Then that is the thing actually that should happen. We should follow. In be cultivating the various qualities, but understanding of the society should be what I should live all these practicing of these qualities also, whatever the Vaishya, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, these qualities are said. So these we are not expecting from the, so we are cultivating that initially, so separately. But after that, so they has to know that these qualities are, practicing of these qualities should be left out and should be fully dependent on bhakti only, and that kind of stage they should get. So that's why here we are seeing what the different Vaishya, that means qualities, Vaishya activities are said here. Next, Shushushanam Dvijagavam Devanam Chapya Mayaya Tatra Labdena Santoshaha Sudra Prakrutayastvimaha.
Service without duplicity to the Brahmanas, cows, demigods, and other worshipable personalities, and complete satisfaction with whatever income is of such service are the natural qualities of Shudras.
Yes, servicing all three varnas. That is their main job. Service without duplicity. So to the Brahmanas, cows, demigods, other worshipable personalities, and complete satisfaction. Whatever income is obtained in such service. That means Sudra's main quality is complete satisfaction. So he always tries to please his master. So with full satisfaction. It's not that they, if you give only 500 rupees per day, why didn't it 700? That kind of thing will not be. And also, master also is having the complete protection he is giving to his servant. So that is the best relationship between the master and a servant. We may not change the whole world. That's why Prabhupada what? He made a filter. So first in this whole society, whom he wants to take, so take the people who got little attraction for the holy name, doing the Sankirtan movement. Then bring those people to the temple and now start giving the training to them, as that means Varanashrama college, and based upon that you give training them. Then you make a small model community. Then by seeing this community, remaining mass people will change. This is a program very systematically he made. Whole society he want to change actually. It's only few temples construct and so few brahmacharis joined and they are doing this some kind of bhakti full time. It's not that. Whole society he wants to change. So that's where to begin in this society. All are karmis and completely polluted. Begin where he. That's why holy name. Do the sankirtan and get the basic. That means whoever is having the less anarthas, they are get attracted for this and start doing the revival from there. And very systematic plan. Prabhupada he had the systematic. And if you don't understand the full mission, then will be so will not be a loyal follower actually. That's a big problem then. Next, asaucham anrutam steyam nastikyam sushka vigraha kamah krodascha tarshascha sabhavo punyavasayinam.
Dirtiness, dishonesty, thievery, faithlessness, useless quarrel, lust, anger, and hankering constitute the nature of those in the lowest position outside the Varnashram system.
Yeah, whoever is not in the varnashram system, so what? Dirtiness, dishonesty, thievery, faithlessness, useless quarrel, lust, anger, hankering. So these are the things we are seeing now in the present society. All in the full extent we are seeing. Here the Lord describes those who reside outside the scientific social system called Varnashrama. In Europe and America, we have practically observed that the standards of cleanliness are abominable, even among so-called educated persons. वो लोग 4-5 दिन में एक बार नहाते हैं, 4-5 days, once in a week. Once in a week on the Sunday they will take bath.
Oh, there is a person takes bath once in a year.
Once in a year are there, and they will use the tissue papers to clean. And there's such a horrible thing. And they don't have suchi muchi, nothing. Eat the left hand and right hand, whatever. So such a horrible actually.
In the modern age,
Uh,
people whimsically speak whatever they like
yeah.
and dispensing with all authority, and there is very little truthfulness or true wisdom.
Yeah. Going without bathing and use of the indecent language are common. So, and also wearing jeans for 1 month, 2 months, and cleaning everything. And as much as it will become dirt, it will look more fashion actually. And torn jeans and dirty jeans. Shaded jeans means dirty actually. Whichever look colored or shaded, it is considered as best quality. So see the psych people. In the modern age, people will speak whatever they like, dispensing with all authority. So that means not for nowadays, if you see the whole movies, they are trying how to violate the Vedic life, Vedic standards, and simply become whimsical and break the rules. This is the youth slogan. Youth slogan means break the rules. Whatever rules given by the mother, father, break it and make your own lifestyle. This is the my life, my rules. Okay. Dispensing with all authority. Therefore, very little truthfulness or true wisdom. Similarly, in the both capitalist and communist countries, everyone is busily engaged in stealing and robbing from everyone else in the name of business. Actually, in every country also is putting this so what is that? So sanctions and just like how the cheating now Sri Lanka completely cheated and full bankruptcy completely there. So the whole country is completely now. So no proper. All the price increase like touch the sky. Liter milk is 100 rupees. Days back it was 20 rupees and now it became 500 rupees 1 liter milk. What? So this is because every country is trying to suck the other country, crush the country. Such a sanctions, such a policies, foreign policies they make, and also in India, also every company is also making policies such a way. So they want to destroy the peace of the common people, make the money, destroy the nature, exploit the people. This is the thing is going on entire society. So that's why people are not confident in the kingdom of God, nor of their own eternal nature, and thus their faith is very weak. Moreover, since modern human beings are not interested in Krishna consciousness, constantly quarrel, bicker, and fight over completely insignificant issues relating to the middle body. If you see now, fighting is going for last 42 days. How much in the Russia and Ukraine fight? Many hundreds of people died. That's the that's what is that? That's a human massacre. Narasamhar, Bucha Narasamhar. So Bucha place, hundreds of people innocent civilians, they were cut down, actually, their throat. They killed, actually, hundreds of simple general common, not soldiers. It's a place in
And also so many women were raped, Prabhuji.
yeah, so many, actually. So that means the
Very
Russians,
horrible.
because there is no rule and order. Even their own country people also will become, they internally they have so much discrepancies, this community will go and attack another community, and they say that everything is done by the Russians only. So completely it is a out of law and order, and all the thousands and millions of people homeless, and completely all the buildings and their natural resources are destroyed. See what is happening in the country, in the world. Ahimsa satyamasteyam akamakrodalobhata bhuta priyahiteha cha dharmo yam sarvavarnikaha.
Non-violence, truthfulness, honesty, desire for the happiness and welfare of all others, and freedom from lust, anger, and greed constitute duties for all members of society.
Yes, these are the duties for all. That means he said in the previous first four slokas, so about the four varnas, then fifth, what should not be done, and now he is saying what are the qualities should be maintained by everyone. Non-violence, truthfulness, honesty, desire for subsib. The most worst thing in this whole world is this democracy and constitutionalism is completely bogus. So what is their principle? You see, there is no point, there is no considering of the religion, just they have few rights, fundamental rights. So just everyone is equal. So this is a right, and now woman is going and putting a case. So I am not allowed in the Garbhagudi to worship the deity because of the impurity. Based upon impurity, I am restricted, and I will put a case. Then what lawyer will say, judge will say, hey, this is seeing the woman, discriminating the woman based upon her impurity is violence on the woman. How can you stop her? She is also having the equal rights. That means there is no consideration of what is the values of the religion, what is the Vedic lifestyle, nothing. This such a it's a demonic agenda. Actually, demon's agenda is the constitution, and this democracy is completely bogus. This has to be finished. Really, so I'm seeing this how it's come. So it will go to even the gay and the lesbian, they marrying this is also. That means now the system is discriminating the people based upon the gender is also a violence. And don't discriminate. Everyone is having equal rights. Whatever they want to do, they have freedom for life, and constitution is supporting. What is the God's law, what is the nature, and what is the dharma, what is the adharma? Nothing. And simply saying that we are well defined constitution we have, and we are all highly educated, and our sadhus, what we are doing, we should actually fight on all this. द्वितीयं प्राप्यानुपूर्व्या जन्मोपनयनं द्विजः वसन् गुरुकुले दान्तो ब्रह्मादीतचाहूतः.
Twice one member of society achieved second birth through the sequence of purificatory ceremonies culminating in Gayatri initiation. Being summoned by the spiritual master, he should reside within the Guru ashramas and with a self-controlled mind carefully study the Vedic literatures.
So now from here we are going to see the various activities of brahmachari. Varnas are over, and what are the needed things for all the varnas is also expected. He said non-violence, truthfulness, honesty, desire for happiness, welfare of others, and freedom from lust, anger, and greed. So greed constitute duties for all members of society. This based upon these principles, constitution has to be made. These are the Bhagavatam should be the the reference book, and constitution has to be made based upon the Bhagavatam. ऐसा बोलते हैं हम लोग, क्या करते हैं? कुछ नहीं करते हैं, बस बोल के बस रूम में जाके खा के सो जाएंगे। तो कितना दिन इधर बैठे ऐसा, हमको तो एकदम अच्छा नहीं लग रहा एक्चुअली। पहले मैं जाऊं, उसके बाद आप लोग। अच्छा, तो मैं जाऊंगा भाई, इतना आई एम सर्विंग द भागवतम जस्ट, so lots, so plan is there anyway. My Guru Maharaj said to me, very soon I will start working on those only. With also preaching also has to raise, that means now the main point is why we are here, because the philosophical standards are gone, diluted like anything. The whole understanding picture is gone. So that's why first of all घर को तो संभालना है ना, so that's why working here, and then after that we'll work on that also. तिरु छोड़ना नहीं. So okay, so what are different activities of a brahmachari? He should reside in the house of, in the ashram of Guru. Twice more member of society achieve second birth through the Upanayana Samskara actually. So that's why that is the beginning of the Gurukul life. Vidyarambha Samskara. So before the Vidyarambha, he will be given with the Upanayana Samskara. So then that means first day joining to the Gurukul, Upanayana Samskara will be done. So but Upanayana Samskara varies. For the Brahmanas, it is at the age of 7 years they do. For the Kshatriyas, they will observe. If they are not fit for the Brahmana, they will go for the Kshatriyas. That means they will come from the top to down. Oh, he is not fit for the Kshatriyas, so let, okay, this Gadha ko abhi then send to the Vaishya. So he is not fit for, then they will send out from the Gurukul and go to your father work, you do something. So some village technology they will be taught. So like Chakki, these, that. So oil ghani, mud, those will be taught for them. That's good. No need of studying Vedas. Guruji gave the Vedas to recite, and he is trying, and his tongue is not twisted. Tongue is not rotated. Then what he will do? He cannot fit for the Vedas recitation. Then go to the next level. And then he was given the sword, and by the seeing sword itself, he got fear. And there is a big elephants and horses to ride the horse. So, but his body is not cooperating. Then leave this and go to the Vaishya. That means then he will be allowed to the making money. That means how his brain working. So Vaishya's brain always work wherever they try to make the profit. And also, so agriculture, they are interested in the growing the crops and this caring the cows. Okay, fit. But he's not having that much intelligence to care the cows also. Then jao to do the Sudra karma, then it's good. So like that, society will be divided. It's not a difficult task actually, but if you have the curriculum for the everyone, then it is possible. But work out the curriculum for the every varna. That's the first and foremost. We have to see the shastras. There are various commentaries given the, so lot of things are given in the shastra. Those you have to do research, work it, develop the curriculum and develop the program for people, then in them, and then try to see some loopholes and like that. If you keep the revival, if you start revival, then society will start testing. So Vasan Gurukule Danta, but that Danta fully controlled his sense, self-control. Brahmadhiya cha ahu. That means, so he is also Brahma. Brahma means Vedas. He is studying the Vedas, and Ahuti is giving the sacrifice, being summoned by the spiritual master. He is always called by the master to eat prasadam. ऐसा नहीं है कि गुरुकुल में so rights, freedom for life, freedom to live, no freedom for live. Whatever Guru said, if he said 2 days not to eat, then be. You cannot complain. Now Child Protection Act, CPA. Students are immediately raising the hand, and you are not following the CPT. Such a situation is there. Mekhala jina dandaksha brahma sutra kamandalu jatilo dhauta tadvaso rakta pita kushandhada.
The brahmachari should regularly dress with a belt of straw and deerskin garments. He should wear matted hair, carry a rod and water pot, and be decorated with aksha beads and sacred thread. Carrying pure kushagrass in his hand, he should never accept a luxurious or sensuous sitting place. He should not unnecessarily polish his teeth, nor should he bleach and iron his clothes.
Yeah, so these are the different dressings. It's not that the now brahmachari is asked to so wear the what? So deer skin. If you kill deers, then you will be put in jail and get the deer skin. so, so that's why you have to. Prabhuji was asking actually how to see. This is the point. Varnashrama system is there, and you have to see the how much is practical time, place, and circumstance. Even the Manusmriti, what Manu is wrote, all these Varna and Ashrama rules, that is not followed by the Parashara and the Dwapara Yuga, and those are all modified. So that kind of privilege is Acharya is having. Whoever is Acharya, he can so make the modification of this, and that's why secondary rules. These are all secondary rules. Now deer skin is not there, forest and sufficient skin is not there. Then what we should do? We should go for the alternative. That is, huh? Pig skin. You cannot wear pig skin because that's so delicate.
It is for Satya Yuga, Prabhuji.
So
not for Kali Yuga.
In this Kali Yuga, you have to wear the jute, something like that, made with the jute. Not silk.
On a lighter note, Prabhu, if we tell this to the demons, they'll go on hunting for the deers first.
Yeah. Wool, whatever. So that means we unnecessarily many times we break up our head. Oh, this many said these are all not possible. Leave it. We have to focus on the Ananya Bhakti. What is this? I say nahi actually. You have to see and see what is the practical, and so suggest that and gradually bring up the system. Mekhalajina Dandaksha Brahma Sutra Kamandaloon. What is he is wearing the? So he should wear matted hair, carry a rod and water pot, and be decorated with the aksha beads and a sacred thread. So all these different. Vaman Dev also was given with all of this. So matted hair, carry a rod. Brahmachari should hold a rod. Is it danda? Brahmachari should have danda. Because it is there. Even for the last 50, 60 years back, also everything is there. Just 50, 60 years, everything collapsed. So carrying a pure kusha grass in his hand, he should never accept luxurious or sensuous sitting place. So luxurious and sensuous sitting place, ऐसा cushion वाला में नहीं बैठना चाहिए. जैसा भी हम बैठे, it's not cushion. It is kusha is there. He should not unnecessarily polish his teeth. दांत को मांझ. Yes. Not unnecessarily polishing. That means एकदम चमकाने के लिए नहीं प्रयास करना है. Just basic cleaning should be done. Suchi should be there, but not the polishing. Nor should be bleach and iron his clothes. स्नान भोजन होमेषु जपोच्चारे च वाग्यतः न चिन्द्यान्न खरोमाणि कक्षोपस्थगतान्यपि.
A brahmachari should always remain silent while bathing, eating, attending sacrificial performances, chanting japa, or passing stool and urine. He should not cut his nails or hair, including the armpit and public hair.
Yeah, he should be silent in these things, especially while passing urine or passing stool. You should not sing the songs. Okay, bathroom songs. That you can do when we are bathing. Bathing also you should not do. Bathing also you should not do. So silent while bathing and eating. Eating also, what we do, lot of chatting while eating. Attending sacrificial performance, chanting japa, or passing stool and urine. So he should not cut his nails and hair, including the armpit and public hair, pubic hair, armpit and pubic hair. So that means main intention is he should not be so much worried about this. So decorating his body. Simply he should live. Reto navakirijjato brahma vratadhara swayam avakirno vagahyapsu yata sustripadam japet.
One observing the vow of celebrate Brahmacharya life should never pass semen. If the semen by chance spills out by itself, the Brahmachari should immediately take bath in water, control his breath by pranayama and chant the Gayatri mantra.
Yeah. So tap nahi kholna hai actually. This is a big dangerous thing. So releasing out semen is, that means completely. So you will become the morose. Dam nahi rahega actually. There will be no determination actually. If you release the semen again and again, again and again, again and again, continuously, then what will happen? There will be no. So there will be no determination actually, and also there is impossible of spiritual life. Passing semen and expecting the progress in spirituality, both are contradiction to each other. You may say Suddha Bhakti can pure devotion is independent of everything. No. Bhakti is not dependent on this. You can put any philosophy then. Then if you don't follow the 4 regs, then why you need to follow 4 regs? 4 regs is not pure devotion. Bhakti is independent of everything. Remove all the 4 regulative principles. So why it is there?
To become human, Prabhuji, one should follow 4 regulative principles.
One should follow 4 regulative principles to become human being. So that's why before becoming a great devotee, Ananya Bhakta, one should be at least in a human being. So that's why, so for the spiritual practice, spiritual life, so protecting the semen is very important thing. So for that, one should be having the proper control on the food. If we eat so till here fully, then there is a pakka guarantee there is agitation of the senses and going out. And if you don't, ये तो बहुत खराब आदमी है, completely dirty. So then also one has to do this some little exercise. Brahmachari means he should be following the doing the exercise little bit and keeping all the time mind peaceful, doing the pranayam little bit. These are all needed. Next, Agnyarkacharyayo Agnyarkarcha yoga vipra guru Agnyarkarcharya go vipra guru vruddha suranshushihi samahita upasita sanje dve yagatavak japan.
Purified and fixed in
Japan.
consciousness, the Brahmachari should worship the fire god, sun, acharya, cows, brahmanas, guru, elderly respectable persons and demigods. He should perform such worship at sunrise and sunset without speaking, but by silently chanting or murmuring the appropriate mantras.
So he has to do the service for all these. So sun, acharya, cows, brahmanas, and he should perform such a worship at sunrise, sunset, both. Acharyam mam vijaniyat navamanyeta karhichit namartya buddhya suyeta sarvadevamayo guru.
One should know the acharyas as myself, never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him an ordinary man, for he is the representative of all the demigods.
Yeah, one should not disrespect guru. So brahmachari should not disrespect his spiritual gurus. So this verse is commented by the Srila Prabhupada in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila. So 46 sloka, first chapter 46. So there it is lot of, so Prabhupada wrote. So please you follow this. अभी नहीं हो पाएगा, ठीक है? Next, because we have to finish this chapter today. Sayam pratarupaniya bhaiksham tasmai nivedayet yachanyadapyanujnatam upayunjita samyataha.
In the morning and evening, one should collect foodstuffs and other articles and deliver them to the spiritual master. Then, being self-controlled, one should accept for oneself that which is allotted by the acharya.
Yeah, so you are waiting till acharya gives, means it is a self-control. So that is very important. So Sushushamana acharyam sadopaseta nichavat Yana Shayyasanasthanair Nati Dure Krutanjali.
While engaged in service, the spiritual master, one should remain as a humble servant, and thus, when the guru is walking, the servant should humbly walk behind. When the guru lies down to sleep, the servant should always lie down nearby. And when the guru has awakened, the servant should sit near him, massaging his lotus feet and rendering other similar service. When the guru is sitting down on his asana, the servant should stand nearby with folded hands, awaiting the guru's order. In this way, one should always worship the spiritual master.
Yeah, it's clear. Evam Rutto Gurukule Vaset Bhoga Vivarjitaha Vidya Samapyate Yavat Vibrat Vratama Khanditam.
Until the student has completed his Vedic education, he should remain engaged in the ashram of the spiritual master, should remain completely free of material sense gratification, and should not break his vow of celibacy.
Till finishing of his brahmachari life in Gurukul, he should not break his vow of celibacy. When he can break? When his marriage is over. Okay, till that time. So after bathing means, after Gurukul education is over, Snatakottara. That means Snataka program, Snataka samskara will be there. That means bathing ceremony will be there. So then they will be, that means award giving ceremony, that is a certificate giving ceremony. So this verse describes the Upakurvana Brahmachari, that means who enters into Grostha life is known as Upakurvana, and who enters into the Naishtika, so Brahmachari who wants to continue, then they are entering into the Naishtika Brahmachari and Upakurvana Brahmachari. There are two types of Brahmacharis. Who enters into the Grostha life, this is Upakurvana. And who enters like Naishtikas, like all of you, is the Naishtiki Brahmachari. Secret of success. Okay. The word evam vrittaha indicates that although one may eventually marry and become prominent in society as an intellectual politician and or businessman, during student life one must remain without false prestige as a humble servant. So that means even one is from the rich family, but if he is a Gurukul student, means he should be humbly staying. That means I am the son of this king, so I should be having the royal facilities. No, everyone is going and begging and giving alms to the Gurukul. That means Acharya, Guru, and he is giving. Yajyasau chandasam lokam arokshan brahma vishtapam gurave vinyase deham swadhyayartham buradvrataha.
If the brahmachari student desire to ascend to the Maharloka or Brahmaloka planets, then he should completely surrender his activities to the spiritual master and observing the powerful vow of perpetual celibacy, dedicated himself to superior Vedic studies.
Yes. If in the by following this karma, that means brahmachari, all these activities are based upon the karma only, based upon the modes only. Their activities, all these activities comes under the modes. By following these activities, so which are under the modes, maximum they can go where? Brahmacharis go, they go to the Maharloka. They will be doing more and more severe there. One who desires a supreme perfection must engage his body, mind. Okay. Agno Guravatmani cha sarvabhuteshu mam param aprutagdhirupasita brahma varchasva kalmashaha.
Thus enlightened in Vedic knowledge by service to the spiritual master, freed from all sins and duality, one should worship me as the super soul as I appear within fire, the spiritual master, one's own self and all living entities.
Yeah. The enlightened in the Vedic knowledge by service to spiritual master, what will happen? Freedom from all sins and duality. One should worship me as super soul, as I appear with your fire. So then what will happen? That means being purified by these all activities. So he is worshipping super soul Paramatma. So strinam nirikshana sparsha samla pakshevala nadikam pranino mituni bhutan agruhasto grastatyaje.
Those who are not married, sannyasis, vanaprasthas, and brahmacharis should never associate with a woman by glancing, touching, conversing, joking, or spotting. Neither should they ever associate with any living entity engaged in sexual activities.
Yes. Huh? Very difficult. Yes, this is our situation. Sannyasis, vanaprasthas, brahmacharis should never associate with the woman by glancing. You should not see. And you should not touch. Okay, this is possible. Conversing is very difficult. Joking, oh, it is possible. Sporting, okay. We can control joking, sporting, touching, but glancing and conversing is quite difficult. Is preaching. But on the name of preaching, you will be so left and right. If you preach to all the people, then what will happen? You will get the side results, unwanted offsprings. So main problem when brahmachari will get the problem. So when he engaged in the preaching of women and girls, when he preach, that means personally, that means if he take up the counseling of them and guiding them. So akashat patitam toyam sagaram prati gachati gaya kam se. Very difficult. It's very, very, very difficult to maintain brahmachari life. Brahmachari life means हो गया उनका काम. Better क्या है? तो बस brahmacharis have the, that means if you are ananya bhakta, still you should be careful till the time of, no, not till time of, even any case actually. So you are very much fully focused in the devotion, then also it's very dangerous. Every second you should be careful actually, otherwise gaya kam se. Huh? Huh? In spiritual society there is no need of worrying about these things. Yes, bhakti can take care of everything like this. Even I have faith, but our faith is also there, but only our contamination will not stop. Huh? Bhakti Rani, what is that? Bolo, bolo, bolo. So yeah. So how to understand this? See, let's purport. I'll read. Praninaha indicates all living entities, whether birds, beasts, human beings. Among the most species of life, sexual intercourse is preceded by diverse mating rituals. In human society, all types of entertainment, books, music, films, and all places of amusement, restaurant, shopping centers, resorts are designed to stimulate the sexual urge and create an aura of romance. One who is not married, a sannyasi, brahmachari, or vanaprastha should rigidly avoid anything related to sex, and of course should never see any living entity, whether bird, insect, or human, engaged in the various phases of sexual intercourse. When a man jokes with a woman, an intimate sexual charged atmosphere is immediately created, and this should also be avoided for those aspiring to practice celibacy. Even a householder who becomes attached to such activities will also fall down into the darkness of ignorance. So we have the most difficult thing is in our life is, what is that? Cell phone. It's dangerous. It's like a prostitute is always with you. So like really, it can everything. That means all the nonsense you can access in just sitting in a four walls closed room, and yes, not only ladies, man also. YouTube channel, if you search something, you'll be coming, you'll be getting these, that list, and क्या होगा अभी तो. So there is a big operation Lord himself has to take. One world war and completely finishing one round cleaning should be done by Lord himself. That first round cleaning should be done by Lord, then we can do something. First round cleaning we cannot do it. It's very difficult actually. It's very difficult now. So Prabhupada said 1973, so within 50 years there is a complete, that means fall down of modern civilization. We're expecting that now the 42 days over, and situation is still hopeful. There is a hope to have the world war. Let us see if it is going to, it will be, yeah. Some Jyotish are saying that it will not be. I don't know. शौचमाचरणं स्नानं सन्ध्योपास्तिर्ममार्चनं तीर्थसेवा जपो स्पृश्य भक्ष सम्भाष्यवर्जनं सर्वाश्रमप्रयुक्तोऽयं नियमः कुलनन्दन मद्भावः सर्वभूतेषु मनोवाक्काय संयमः.
My dear Uttava, general cleanliness, washing the hand, bathing, performing religious service at sunrise, noon, and sunset, worshipping me, visiting holy places, chanting japa, avoiding that which is untouchable, uneatable, or not to be discussed, and remembering my existence within all living entities as the super soul. These principles should be followed by all members of society through regulation of the mind, clothes, and body.
Yeah. 35, 1 second, I will see one. Sarva ashrama sadharana dharma. This is for all the ashramas. We have seen for all the varnas also some common activities, and these are all for the common activities for all the ashramas. Evam bruhad vratadharo brahmano gniriva jvalan madbhaktasти vratapasa dagda karma shayo malaha.
Yeah, Brahmana observing the great vow of celibacy becomes brilliant like fire, and by serious austerity burns to assess the propensity to perform material activities. Free from the contamination of the material desires, he becomes my devotee.
Yes. This 36. So nishkama naishtikasya tu moksham phalamaha evamiti. So moksham is a phalam. Evam bruhad vardadara brahmano agniriva jwalan mad bhaktah tivra tapasa dagda karmashaya amalaha. Coming to the brahmana, na? So brahmachari is over. Brahmachari is over. And then common varnashrama, ashrama duties, sarva ashrama, common duties for ashrama is. Now next what is said? So nishkama naishtikasya tu moksham phalamaha. So one who is doing the nishkama karma yoga, for him what? In the so general varnashram, so naturally is explained what? So doing the dharma uh, for the renouncing results on the Lord, that is leading to the doing the offering the results of the Lord for the pleasure of the Lord. With the love, out of love, it is to the Lord. Then that is so leading to the bhakti. So you will be seeing moksha. That means offering for the detachment. So what will happen? That means by following the Nishkamdi, so get the Gurvanumoditaha.
A brahmachari who has completed his Vedic education and a desire to enter householder life should offer proper remuneration
Remuneration.
To the spiritual master, bath, cut hair, put on proper clothes, and so on. Then permission from the he should back to his home.
Yeah. Remuneration should give. Okay. Guru Dakshina. Then cut the hair. Huh? Cut the hair, bathe. That means there's a snataka. Snatakotsav. Snan karte hain. So cut hair. Then like because now till now matted hair na he's having locked hair. Now he's clean the hair and now he'll go like a hero to house so that he will get the girl to marry. Hey, कुछ हो रहा है actually आत्मा को. What is going on Dhritatma Prabhu? Noting? Good. Better to be brahmachari, everyone. Naistik brahmachari, not to upakurvana brahmachari. Best is practice Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, okay, if you have such an interest, go, no problem. Do work hard and karna hai to karo tab to. And also remember Krishna and also earn money and you have to take the load of another who remembers on your shoulders. It's a big task. It's not wrong task, but it is difficult task. Your most of the energy also will go for the karma doing good.
It's a Hercules task.
It's a, Ramakrishna Prabhu, give me some few words. Maybe we want to hear from you. Our brahmacharis, 5 brahmacharis are sitting here.
I will certainly not encourage them to go to Grihastha ashram.
Yes.
I would definitely bless and pray for them that they continue their determination to do in the brahmachari ashram.
Yes.
Yes, certainly Grihastha ashram has its own advantages because you are not one, you are two to progress in your Krishna consciousness if you are properly managing your household. And also it gives an opportunity to serve the society in many multiple ways. And though we may not be very what do you call, first class in terms of devotional practice as possible for a brahmachari, as to say. But we would like to associate with the society as grihasthas in that way. So I would recommend the IBME brahmacharis to continue their brahmachari ashram and make their life successful, so that you all become the gurus of the future society.
Yes, gurus of the future society. Bhakti Vedantis. These are all Bhakti Vedantis. They should become sannyasi and so take up the leadership of this society too. Yeah. Sannyasis are the leaders of the whole society. They should become, everyone should become sannyasi. Please apply for sannyas. To apply for sannyasa and we will be, so we will lead the society. Yes, that is a very important thing now needed. What we are, first actually nowadays sannyasi they have education qualification also, some graduation is needed. Missionary spiritually is considered. Bhakti is compulsory, yes. Okay, don't worry, Tirumala, you have opportunity to become sannyasi. Yeah, I will give. I will give that. Okay, next. Gruham vanam vopavishet pravrajedvadishotamaha ashramad ashramam gacchen nanyatha matparascharet.
The brahmachari, desiring to fulfill his material desires, should live at home with his family, and a householder who is eager to purify his consciousness should enter the forest, whereas a purified brahmana should accept the renounced order of life. One who is not surrendered to me should move progressively from one ashram to another, never acting otherwise.
Yeah, one is not surrendered to me should move progressively from one ashram to another. So that means whoever is surrendering, then what is the point? They are coming to the Ananya Bhakti. So then Varna, there is no ashram. But whoever not fully surrendered, those people has to so shift to the one. That means from Grihastha to Brahmachari to, that means Grihastha to Vanaprastha, from Vanaprastha to Sannyasi. So like that, they has to change, progress. बहुत कुछ लिखा है इसमें, पता नहीं. गृहार्दी सदृशं भायम उद्वहे जुगुप्सिताम यवीयसीम तु वयसा याम सवर्णमनुक्रमात्.
One who desires to establish family life should marry a wife of his own who caste, who is beyond reproach and younger in age. If one desires to accept many wives, he must marry them after the first marriage, and each wife should be of a successively lower caste.
So one who desires to establish family life should marry a wife. There is no wrong, but he should marry a wife of his own caste, who is beyond reproach and younger in age. What is that reproach? Ajugupsitam means younger. So that means she should be younger. As studied in Vedic literature. Okay. इसमें ये क्या है? आप लोग पढ़िए, आ जाएगा ये सब. इज्याध्ययन दानानि सर्वेषां तादिजन्मनां प्रतिग्रहोद्यापनं च ब्राह्मणस्यैव याजनम्.
All twice born men, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas must perform sacrifice, study the Vedic literatures, and give charity. Only the Brahmana, however, accept charity, teach the Vedic knowledge, and perform sacrifice on behalf of others.
Yeah. All these Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya. So sacrifice, study, and Vedic literature. Study Vedic literature and giving charity. These are all. Patan, Yajan, Dan. These three are common. For the Brahmanas, Patan, Yajan, Dhanan, Pratigruhnati. 6 for Brahmanas, compulsory. But for the three Dvijas, Patan is compulsory, Yajan compulsory. Next one is Dana. Dan. Patan, Yajan, Dan. Sacrifice means what? Yajan then. Yajan. Make to sacrifice. But Dvijas, they do sacrifice. Kshatriyas are small, not the big sacrifice. Nitya Agnihotram, they will do Nitya as a daily rituals. Pratigraham manyamanas tapastejo yashonudam anyabhyameva jiveta shilairvadosha druktayo.
A Brahmana who considers that accepting charity from others will destroy his austerity, spiritual influence, and fame should maintain himself by the other two Brahmanical occupations, namely teaching Vedic knowledge and performing sacrifice. If the Brahmana considers that those two occupations also compromise his spiritual position, then he should collect rejected grains in agriculture field and live without any dependence on others.
So that means simple living. Brahmanas, they will be living on the charity. So yeah, charity from others will destroy his austerity. Spiritual influence and fame should maintain himself by the other two Brahmanas. That means if you take the charity, then what will happen? Austerity, spiritual influence, everything will go down. That's why it's very careful. If you don't have proper sadhana and if you eat freely in the ashram without proper sadhana and without proper service, then all our austerity and our energy, spiritual energy, everything will go down. Yes, we have to do good sadhana. So by other by namely teaching, then what he has to do? Instead of taking the charity, he should go for teaching and performing the yajnas, so that he will not get that much effect. If the Brahmana considers that those two occupations are also comprise his spiritual position, then he should collect the grains best. Best thing is that is taking a lot of time. Sacrifice, performing sacrifice and teaching, it is taking a lot of time, and he wants to do more spirituality. Then go and collect Shiloncha Vritti. Shiloncha Vritti means whatever is grains falling down in front of the different shops or otherwise in the field, whichever the grains are left out, collecting those and cooking this much. Brahmanasya hi dehoyam kshudra kamaya neshyate kruchraya tapase cheha pretyananta sukhaya cha.
The body of a Brahmana is not intended to enjoy insignificant material sense gratification. Rather, by accepting difficult austerities in his life, a Brahmana will enjoy unlimited happiness after death.
Yes. So all the Brahmana's body is meant for austerity. Tapo divyam putraka. So tapas, austerity is the basic, especially Indian bodies. They are so meant for the austerity. And yeah, eating ghee is important for the Brahmanas. What you are saying? Huh? Brahmana should eat ghee only. It's not sense gratification. It is to burn the impurities in the body. By the cow ghee, all the impurity, whatever is there in the sin is there in your the bones of bone marrow. So that will go out, purified. Yes. So that's why you should have a cow and You want ghee means how you will get? You'll get if you get from the market, then you will become buffalo. Brain will become buffalo brain. Acha. Tirumala is saying that in his house, so instead of having the cow, so that means they maintained, they they maintained Tirumala as a cow. He's saying black cow. But where is milk? This cow without milk. this this cow will give knowledge, he's saying. Full comedy. Milk of Vedic knowledge. Acha. ब्राह्मणस्य हि देहोऽयं क्षुद्रकामाय नेष्यते कृच्छ्राय तपसे चेह प्रेत्यानन्त sukhaaya cha. The body of Brahmana is not intended to enjoy. Okay. So insignificant material sense gratification, rather by accepting difficult aspects in his life, a Brahmana will enjoy unlimited happiness after death. So that means Brahmanas, then what kind of realization they are going to get? By following their respective karma and following this kind of austerities, they will be realizing supreme truth in the form of Brahman. That's the point. Next. Siloncha vrutya paritushta chitto dharmam mahantam virajam jushanaha mayyarpitatma gruha eva tishtan nati prasakta samupeti shantim.
A Brahmana householder should remain satisfied in mind by gleaning rejected grains from agriculture fields and marketplace. Keeping himself free of personal desire, he should practice magnanimous religious principles with consciousness absorbed in me. In this way, a Brahmana may stay at home as a householder without very much attachment and thus achieve liberation.
Brahmana means he should be living like this, householder Brahmana, just collecting the leftover grains in the fields, siloncha vritya, in agricultural fields or in the marketplaces, keeping himself free from personal desire. He should practice magnanimous religious principles. This is the quality of Brahmana. Samudharanti ye vipram sidantam matparayanam tanuddharishye nachirat apadbhyo naurivarnavad.
Just as a ship rescue those who have fallen into the ocean, similarly, I very quickly rescue from all calamities those persons who uplift brahmanas and devotees suffering in a poverty-stricken condition.
So that means Brahmanas, they don't have any money. So Mahat Kulam Uktva. So this best among all the Varnas, Brahmanas are best. So so there are the different sadhana nam apyaha tribuhi. So what kind of sadhanas they should practice is said here. Vipram ityupalakshanam matparayanam yam kamapi. Samudharanti ye vipram sidantam matparayanam tan uddharishye nachirat apadbhyo nauriva. So the Lord, he himself, that means whoever is following such a austere life Brahmanas, so what Lord is going to uplift them. That means no namo brahmanya devaya go brahmanya hitaya cha. So Lord is protector of the such a Brahmanas, because Lord is a maintainer and Lord is controlling the mode of goodness. That means Lord in that way, so he is, that means protecting the goodness, that means protecting the Brahmanas. That way you should see, not that the Brahmanas are not devotee, how he will be protecting, because Lord is also having the upadhi na sattva and he is the maintainer of sattva. So that means he has to give is favorability to the mode of goodness. Brahmanas are in the goodness, so that's why they are protected. Next, sarva samuddaredraja piteva vyasanat praja atmanam dhiro yatha gajapatir gajan.
Just as the chief bull elephant protects all other elephants in his herd and defends himself as well. Similarly, a fearless king, just like a father, must save all the citizens from difficulty and also protect himself.
Yeah, Rajastu avashrikam etadityaha. So what king has to do is said he has to protect the people all the time.
Now, Kshatriya.
Evam vido narapatir vimane narkavarchasa viduyeha shubham krutsnam indrena sahamodate.
An earthly king who protects himself and all citizens by removing all sins from his kingdom will certainly enjoy with Lord Indra in aeroplanes as brilliant as the sun.
Yeah, when he leave his attachment for the an earthly king who protects himself and all citizens by removing all sins, his king will remain enjoy with. That means a good king will go to the Swarga along with the Indra. He will be enjoying the lot of bliss, material bliss. Sidan vipro vanigvrutya panyereva padam tare kadgena vapadakranto nashvavrutya katham chana.
If a Brahmana cannot support himself through his regular duties and is thus suffering, he may adopt the occupation of a merchant and overcome his destitute condition by buying and selling material things. If he continues to suffer extreme poverty even as a merchant, then he may adopt the occupation of a Kshatriya, taking sword in hand. But he cannot in any circumstance become like a dog, accepting an ordinary master.
So Brahmana apad dharma is explained here. So that means if they are not able to, Brahmanas are not able to maintain their life just by the some regular duties and silvan chivritti and so on. So if a Brahmana cannot support himself through his regular duties and is a suffering, then what he will be do? Sidan vipro vanigurutya panyaireva padam tare. That means he is going to accept the duties of Vaishya. But actually, it should be going to the Kshatriya, no? The destitute Brahmana. A destitute Brahmana who is suffering intolerably may become a merchant and then Kshatriya, and then a Kshatriya, but may never take the position of a Sudra by working in a company or accepting master. So, a Kshatriya is ordinarily considered more elevated than Vaishya. The Lord here recommends that distressed Brahmana first accept Vaishya occupation since it is not violent. So that's why it is, first Vaishya. Working in company is not a recommended activity for Brahmanas. Vaishya tu rajanyo jiven mrugyaya pavidi charedva viprarupena na shavrutya katam chana.
A king or other member of the royal order who cannot maintain himself by his normal occupation may act as a Vaishya, may live by hunting, or may act as a Brahmana by teaching others Vedic knowledge, but he may not under any circumstance adopt the profession of a Sudra.
Yeah, what is apad dharma for Kshatriya? If he is not able to maintain his, go for the Vaishya. Otherwise, If it is not able to do that also, then he go for the teaching Brahmana, like this. But he may not under at any circumstance adopt the profession of Sudra. Next, Sudra Vrittim Bhajet Vaishya Sudra Karukata Kai Kriyam Kruchrat Mukto Nagarhena Vrittim Lipsate Karmana. A Vaishya or a mercantile man who cannot maintain himself may adopt the occupation of Sudra. And a Sudra who cannot find a master can engage in simple activities like making baskets and mats of straw. However, all members of society who have adopted inferior occupations in emergency situations must give up those substitutes occupations when the difficulties have passed. So that means when there is a difficulty, a Vaishya or mercantile who then what he can accept the Sudra activities, occupation of Sudra. And Sudra who cannot find a master can engage himself in activities of Sudras are not life by their prescribed duties, then what they should do? They should do baskets making, this and that, because they are not able to find the master. Generally, what is the main duty of the Sudras? Finding the master. But they didn't find master means then they will be doing some small scale industries. That means producing some baskets, producing some buckets, this, that. So like this different so industrial activities they will be doing. Clothes, production of the pots. So like this. They are masters to themselves. So next, Vedadhyaya Swadhyaya Swaha Balyan. Vedadhyaya Swadhyaya Swaha Balyanadyaryatodayam Devarshi Pitru Bhutani Mahatrupanyam Jeje. One in the Grihastha order of life should daily worship the sages by Vedic study, the forefather by offering the mantra Swadha, the demigods by chanting Swaha, all living entities by offering shares of one's meal, and human beings by offering grains and water. Thus, considering the demigods, sages, forefathers, living entities, and human beings, so to be manifestation of my potency, one should daily perform these 5 sacrifices. So, but who are coming to Ananya Bhakti, they don't need to practice Pitru Runam, Devata Runam, Rishi Runam, all these will not be there. But who are not having the Ananya Bhakti platform, then they have to practice this. Lord again discuss the duties of those in household order of the life. One second time we are getting householder. So obviously the 5 ritualistic daily sacrifices mentioned here are meant for those who are not pure of the Lord and who thus have to counteract their exploitation of material nature by above mentioned sacrifice. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness is training householders, sannyasis, brahmacharis, and vanaprasthas to engage 24 hours a day in the loving service of the Lord. Thus, who are full-time missionary workers in ISKCON have no further obligations or sacrifice to perform, as considered in the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Devarshi Upad. Yes, full-time, that means 24 hours service is possible when we have community. यदृच्छयोपपन्नेन शुक्लेनोपार्जितेन वा धानेन पीड्यान् भृत्यान् न्यायेन व्यवहरेत् क्रतुन्.
Householder should comfortably maintain his dependence either with money that comes of its own accord or with that gathered by honest execution of one's duties. According to one's means, one should perform sacrifice and other religious ceremonies.
Household comfortably maintain his dependence either with the money that comes its own accord or with that gathered by honesty. So Grihasthas, they should maintain their family members by the right means. That's based upon Varna, these means will be changing. Like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, they have different means to earn livelihood in the case of householders. The Lord here describes the religious duties that are to be performed as far as possible according to one's means and when there is opportunity. Kutumbeshu na sajjeta na pramadhyeta kutumbyapi vipachinnashwaram pashyed adrushtam drushtavat. A householder taking care of many dependent family members should not become materially attached to them, nor nor should he become mentally unbalanced, considering himself to be the Lord. An intelligent householder should see the all possible future happiness, just like that which he has already experienced is temporary. So that's a householder what he has to kutumbeshu na sajjeta. That means you should not get attachment for the family too much. So that means lifelong with my wife. After 7 lifetimes, I will be same. We both together. Or other way, children. So children's children, grandchildren's and grandchildren's children, great grandchildren's we want to see, and we want to play with them. So this kind of attachment is not good. Nor should he become mentally unbalanced. That means now wife gone, then whole situation is shaken. So such a situation should not be there. Considering himself to be Lord, that means as a master, an intelligent householder should that all possible future happiness, just like that which he has already experienced, is temporary. So he has to see everything is temporary happiness. So the most difficult thing in this life is leaving attachment for the wife is the difficult thing actually, or otherwise leaving attachment for the husband. One can leave the attachment for the mother, father very easily. Even so, anyway, parents they don't leave attachment because generally parents only will go away first. So that's why there is a less chance. And also they will not show. If wife, mother and father is there and children is there, even children goes away, that means completely disconnected. But if they are both together, they will live happily. That means their relationship is very strong. Wife and husband relationship. It's very strong. Even they don't have children, if children gone somewhere, so they will live happily. Happily means attachedly. But one is missing in that. Another bird will be feeling so much. No japa, no sadhana, no nothing. Gone. Putradharapta bandhunam sangamah panta sangamah anudeham viyantyeta swapno nidranugo yatha.
The association of children, wife, relatives, and friends is just like the brief meeting of travelers. With each change of body, one is separated from all such associates just as one loses